think about your TV screen right now. You turn it on, and there is that grid of a dozen different apps staring back at you.
Oh, yeah. The classic wall of choices.
Right. But if you are like most people, your thumb just automatically navigates to one of them. You do not even think about it.
It is pure muscle memory.
Exactly. You open it out of pure muscle memory because, well, it is the default. It's where you go when you just want something easy to watch.
Right.
But that simple, unconscious muscle memory, it is currently generating about $45 billion a year.
Which is just a staggering number to even think about.
It really is. But with a super crowded room of competitors out there now, I mean, from legacy media giants to tech behemoths, you kind of have to wonder, is that original streaming pioneer actually still dominating the space?
Or are they just coasting on a legacy name?
Right. And that is exactly what we are getting into today. We are doing a deep dive into this really fascinating analytical script from the Numbers Bureau.
Yeah, it's titled The Briefing Room. Is Netflix still a strong business?
And our mission for this deep dive is to basically unpack how this streaming giant has evolved, you know, from that scrappy early internet rebel into a highly mature business.
And to figure out how they are actually making their money today. Because it has changed.
It really has. Okay, let's unpack this. Because to figure out where the business is going, we first have to establish how the easy days of growth are completely over.
Yeah, the easy mode is done.
Right.
Because if you look back at the early days, the company grew simply because the whole market was naturally shifting from old cable TV to streaming.
It was a massive secular tailwind.
Exactly. It was just a rising tide.
Yeah.
But now, almost every household already has the app, plus like a dozen other options.
Right, so the new test isn't just about adding new users anymore.
No, it's about earning more from that massive existing base. And to understand how they do that, you have to look at what they are actually selling.
Which the source material points out is not what most people think.
Right. Because the company does not sell a single movie at a time. The real product is not a hit show. The real product is the library.
They are selling access.
Yes. They are selling the habit.
You know, it makes me think of a gym membership.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Right, because a shiny new treadmill or like a celebrity trainer, which is basically the hit show, that might get you to sign up in the first place.
Sure, it gets you in the door.
But the convenience, the classes, the locker room layout, the routine, the library, and the habit, that is what actually stops you from canceling every month.
That is exactly it.
Yeah.
Because every single month, the customer quietly asks themselves if the service is still worth the money.
Even subconsciously.
Right, a massive hit show, that gets the headline. But the deep library, that holds the attention. That is the habit.
Yeah, and if the core product is that habit, maintaining it requires a massive, constant stream of new content.
An endless pipeline.
Right, but how does the business afford this without going completely broke? Because making shows is a highly risky business.
Oh, it's terrifying financially.
Yeah, you have to spend tens of millions of dollars before you even know if the thing is a hit.
Well, this is where the math of global scale comes in. The source explains how scale completely changes that equation.
How so?
So a smaller streaming service gets absolutely crushed by the cost of a single flop. If they spend $100 million on a show and nobody watches it, that is devastating.
It's a huge hit to their bottom line.
Exactly. But a massive global base spreads that cost out. When you have hundreds of millions of users, a total flop is basically just a blip.
Wow, so the global reach completely neutralizes the risk.
Pretty much. And the briefing pulled some specific examples that were super interesting, like a Korean show can drop and suddenly find massive audiences in Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or a Spanish show can travel seamlessly to India. Or an American film is just watched globally. Content crosses borders way faster than old TV ever could.
So they aren't just making regional TV anymore.
No, it's a global pipeline. And that creates this massive flywheel effect.
The flywheel, right? Walk us through how that cycle actually works.
Okay, so more viewers fund more shows.
Right.
Which means having more shows keeps more viewers locked in. And then those viewers fund the next bigger round of shows. It just spins and spins.
It feeds itself,
Okay.
exactly. But, and here's where it gets really interesting. The flywheel works wonderfully, right? But what happens when you physically run out of new households to sign up?
Right, because there's only so many people on Earth with high-speed internet.
Exactly. So they have to find new ways to squeeze revenue out of the market they already have. And the source outlines 3 main levers for this mature growth.
Yeah, 3 distinct paths.
The first one being pricing power, meaning Well, raising prices. But can you give us a plain English definition of what pricing power actually is?
Absolutely. Pricing power basically means that customers might complain, and they will complain loudly when the price goes up, but they stay anyway.
Because the service still feels worth it,
Right. It proves how essential the habit is. You grumble about the extra $2, but you don't cancel.
which just instantly boosts their revenue without adding a single new show.
Exactly. Now, the second lever is paid sharing.
Closing the side door.
Yes, turning password sharing from a leak in the model into direct revenue.
Mm.
They basically asked all those existing free riders to finally pay up.
I remember when they did that, I honestly thought it would backfire.
A lot of people did. But it worked. Though it is important to note, this is finite fuel.
What do you mean by finite fuel?
Well, once you close that side door, it's closed. You cannot play the password crackdown card a second time to boost your numbers.
Oh, right. That makes total sense. You squeeze that sponge once and it's dry.
Exactly. Which leads to the third lever ads. They created a cheaper tier.
Which is such a shift for them.
It really is. And it allows the company to serve two totally different customers at the same time. You have the viewer, who pays less,
Right.
and then you have the advertiser, who pays massive premiums for access to that viewer.
It's double dipping in the best way possible for a business.
And when you combine those three levers, you get this massive financial reality check. The source provided the specific 2025 numbers, and they are wild.
Yeah, let's talk about those numbers.
They are projecting revenue around $45 billion.
45 billion.
Yes, but the crazy part is the operating margin, which is in the high 20s.
Okay, let me just break that margin down simply for a second. That basically means they are keeping about 30 cents on every single dollar as pure profit, right? After running the whole massive business.
That is exactly right. It's a hyper-efficient cash engine now.
Wow.
And this brings up a major shift in the metrics they care about. The company really wants investors to stop obsessing over raw user numbers.
Because they're done with the hypergrowth phase.
Right. They want everyone looking at revenue. Because one user in a higher price market actually matters way more to the bottom line than a user on some very cheap discounted plan.
So what does this all mean?
It means they grew up.
Yeah, it means the company has shifted from chasing unprofitable growth to protecting a highly profitable cash engine.
Exactly.
But, high margins and pricing power, that makes the company sound invincible.
It does.
But I have to push back a little here. If they are so structurally strong, why do people still doubt them? Why is Wall Street still anxious?
Well, this raises an important question. The battlefield has changed. The analysis points out four main threats, or enemies of the habit.
Okay, let's go through these. What's the first one?
The first and biggest is attention. They aren't just fighting other streamers anymore.
Right, it's not just a war with traditional TV.
No, they're fighting TikTok, they're fighting gaming, podcasts, and as the source bluntly notes, they are fighting sleep.
Sleep. I laughed when I read that in the script.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
It really is, though, because sleep is the ultimate rival. It is free and healthy, and human beings only have a finite number of free hours.
Exactly. They are an attention company at their core. If you are scrolling TikTok for 2 hours in bed, that is 2 hours the streaming habit is decaying.
That is a terrifying competitor to have.
It really is. And that leads to the second threat, content cost. It's a massive tightrope walk.
Because they have to keep feeding the machine.
Right. Spend too little, and the library gets stale, and people cancel. But spend too much chasing cultural hits.
And those beautiful high 20 profit margins just vanish.
Exactly. It's a very delicate balance.
Okay, so that's attention and content cost. What is the third risk?
Subscription fatigue.
Oh, I feel this one personally.
We all do. We have all checked our credit card statements at the end of the month, seen 5 different app charges, and started questioning things.
You do an audit. You sit there and go, wait, which ones do we actually need?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The risk for the company isn't just that their shows might be bad. It's that during that household audit, they get cut. They must remain at the absolute top of the household list.
They need to be viewed as a utility, like the water bill.
Right. And finally, the fourth threat is slower growth.
Which Wall Street historically hates.
They despise it. But because the company is already so massive, hypergrowth is mathematically harder now. The law of large numbers kicks in.
You just run out of humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But a business doesn't need to grow like a frantic startup forever to be incredibly strong. It is a mature tree now, not a sapling.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Stepping back to synthesize all of this, it really feels like we are looking at a complete transition of identity.
Absolutely.
The company has transitioned from being a rebel, where their whole story was about replacing old TV, to a leader.
Yes.
And the leader's story is totally different. It is about keeping attention, managing these new ad tiers, controlling their massive spend, and generating just huge profit.
It's a defensive game now rather than offensive.
Right. And to wrap this up, I want to reiterate the closing analogy from the source material because I thought it was brilliant.
The club analogy.
Yeah. Think of the business as a global entertainment club. You pay a monthly fee for entry, the ads. Well, that is just a cheaper ticket, but with corporate sponsors hanging out inside with you.
And ending the password sharing was basically just putting a bouncer at a free side door.
Exactly. And the customer votes with their wallet every single month at that door. In the modern streaming world, the hit show might get the headline, but the habit is what pays the bill.
It's all about the habit.
So, to you listening to this deep dive right now, think about your own global entertainment club membership. Next time you sit down, open up the app out of pure muscle memory.
Just remember, you are validating that exact strategy.
You are proving the entire business model right. You are the habit.
It's pretty wild to think about it that way.
It is. But I want to end on one final, somewhat provocative thought that wasn't directly answered in the text.
Okay, let's hear it.
If this company is truly an attention company, and their biggest rivals are things like TikTok, immersive gaming, and sleep, what happens when an entirely new immersive medium of entertainment actually emerges?
Oh, like advanced VR or something.
Right, or like AI-generated interactive storytelling, something that completely steals our free hours.
That is a massive unknown.
It is. Will the habit of just staring at a flat 2D screen actually be enough to survive the next big technological leap?
That is a fascinating question.
Something to chew on the next time you hear that familiar startup sound.